Hi, today I'd like to do a review of an art book. And I've seen a lot of art book reviews that flip through some pages and talk about how great the book is, but it's rare that I see a review that covers the usability of the book. So that's what I'd like to focus on here. While there's nothing wrong with owning a book with beautiful pictures for the sole purpose of looking at it and gaining inspiration, most often we buy art books with the hope of using it to improve our own artwork. So, I'll be showing you some of the art that I've created while using this book, and I'll be going over some of the pros and cons that I found. But this is all just my own opinion, of course. Okay. The book is called House Sketching: Learn to Create Energetic and Expressive Architectural Drawings, and it's by Albert Kiefer. And as you can already tell, he has this very cool, loose but confident style, and it feels very urban sketching to me. And he's definitely not afraid to use color. So taking a look at the table of contents, you can see that he briefly covers topics such as composition, depth, detailing, but the very best part of this book by far is the projects. I believe there are 15 different projects, and we'll be getting more into that in a moment. Okay, so there's a very helpful section where he goes into the recommended supplies. But I'm telling you firsthand, don't worry if you don't have any of these supplies. Certain markers like Copic can be quite pricey, so I've just been using what I have. And for me, that happens to be highlighters, soft pastels, and watercolor paints. And I'll show you just real quick here what I've been using. So these are the Mr. Pen highlighters. They're very nice and translucent. And then, of course, I have this set of soft pastel pencils that I love. And then just any set of watercolors are fine, whatever you have on hand. I generally use Winsor Newton or Daniel Smith. And I do understand that, of course, you won't be getting the exact same effect as Albert and his markers, but not to worry, other art mediums will work just fine for this style of art. Here he shows some examples of imperfect shapes that can be used to make shingles, windows, and so on. Oh, and I almost forgot, there's actually QR codes on most of the pages, and you can scan them and watch tutorials, and it is a really great idea, but I can't say that I've done that yet. Shh, don't tell. All right, there's some info on light and shadows, silhouettes and structure. And then this part is actually about details. So it's all those little supporting elements that make your sketches really interesting and kind of come to life. And now it looks like we're getting into the projects. Okay, so looking at the first one here, the cheese shop, for example, there's a large picture of the finished piece. And I think this one is probably just a close-up of the details that you might add. And then there's a reference photo and a list of the marker colors that he used in his example, and then a silhouette of the building and the surrounding people. And now let's get into the steps. So I'm pretty sure each project has either 4 or 5 steps, each one building off of the previous, adding a base layer of color, shadows, details, and so on. Okay, so I think that gives you a good idea of what the book entails. So now let's get into how helpful and effective this process really is. And once again, this is just my own experience, my own opinion, coming to you as someone who is maybe slightly above beginner, but not quite to the intermediate level. All right, let's begin. Okay, so for my first one, I attempted this with fine liners and highlighters, and I know that it doesn't really look all that close to the original, but that's perfectly fine. Not only is my style somewhat different, but also my art mediums, of course, are very different. But I think you can get a good idea of how walking through the steps helped guide me towards the end result. For the second one, I used only pencil and a Q-tip for smudging. And you can see that my version is definitely more simplistic than the one in the book. And that's just because I'm not overly confident in this arena yet. I really love how loose and free his drawings are, especially the greenery and the leaves and everything. but maybe I'll get there eventually. This was a really fun one, the gatehouse. Again, in my version, I'll be using fine liners followed by highlighters. And I'm going to include a video link right here, just in case you want to know more about using highlighters. I've actually really enjoyed them. And of course, you might already own Copic or Winsor Newton markers, which is great, but I'm not enough of a marker person myself to hand over the cash for high-end markers. I love the look, but I have a feeling they wouldn't get used nearly enough to make it worthwhile. This bridge piece is really pretty. I like this one a lot. My approach was to use soft pastel pencils. And now that I'm looking at them side by side, I'm not sure why I didn't add more of those flowers up front, which looks so cool in his version. But that's okay. Maybe I'll go back and spice that part up a bit. And the background I simplified, but overall I was really happy with this one. Definitely one of my favorite attempts. Moving on to the next house, I'm going to be using highlighter and ink pen for this one. And this was one that I drew straight from the finished product rather than working through the steps like you're supposed to. And I'm just not nearly as happy as this one. I feel like it's lacking life and detail. So take it from me, follow those steps. The barn I did with fine liners and soft pastel pencils, and I like this one so much better than the last. And I know it's a much softer look than what Albert has here, but I actually really like both of the versions. I have just one more to show you here. So we're finishing up with the blue bungalow. And for this one, I've decided to take a picture after each step so that you can see my progression. So step one is going to be the basic outline. And here's my sad little attempt. Step two, adding more of those detail lines. Unfortunately, I don't have the same looseness and effortless quality to my lines, but hey, I'll never get there if I don't practice. Steps 3 and 4 were both about adding color, so I just combined those. And on to stage 5, the accents, darkening the shadows, throwing in the final highlights. And real quick, here are the materials that I used for mine. So regular pencil and a Q-tip, soft pastels of course, a white marker for highlights, a black marker, and then a fine liner for all those really small details. And here was my final outcome. It's definitely a little more on the grungy side than Albert's, but I actually had a lot of fun with this one. I really enjoyed it. And there's the side by side, two very different looks, but as you can see, we both wound up with recognizable houses. And before I end this video, I do want to go over just two cons, just two very small things that I would have liked to see from this otherwise very wonderful book. And so the first one is pertaining to perspective. While there is a section dedicated to perspective, I felt like it would have been nice if maybe it had been tied into the stages. So for example, maybe taking stage 1 and adding an additional picture with dotted lines, showing the angles, the vanishing points. And I know this style is supposed to be loose and free. I do get that. But speaking as someone without much experience with house sketching, I feel like it can ruin the whole look of my drawings when the perspective is off. So it's just a thought. Maybe it's just a me problem. I don't know. And second, I had a bit of trouble getting started with some of the drawings. So here's one example of just an awful lot to cover in the very first step. This is overwhelming to me. But again, maybe when I have more experience, it won't appear so daunting. There were plenty of drawings that started out small, and these were much more appealing for my limited skill level. But I will say that overall, I really enjoyed this art book, and I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10 for workability and usability, and I'd like to give it a 9 out of 10 for the stunning artwork that fills this book. So to answer that question from the beginning of the video, I'm going to say yes. It did help me to improve when it comes to sketching houses and buildings. And I do plan to continue using this book. And who knows, maybe in a few months I'll post an update video and you guys can be the judge. You can see whether or not I've continued to progress. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.